welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world, and welcome to another transfer video for you guys tonight. Of course, we will be speaking about, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we will be talking about James Milner's brand new contract. We'll be speaking about Darwin Núñez. We'll also be speaking about Sadio Mane and the whole Bayern Munich situation as well. There's loads to go through tonight. We'll also be speaking about, Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and more as well. So if you guys are interested in coming onto the show, have your thoughts, have your opinions on the matters at hand, and, the whispers and the rumours, then please make sure to come on, have your say as well. Like I do say all the time, please be respectful if you do come on anyway. But if you're watching, then please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe as well. It's very much appreciated. I think we are 13 away now, or 12 away from hitting 600, so that'd be very much appreciated if we can get that done. I will very much appreciate that. Hopefully we can get to 1,000 as soon as possible. But guys, we're speaking about a lot of things in tonight's show as well, so if I do miss a few comments out as well, I'll hopefully try and read everyone's comments out anyway. But John is in as well, saying big up Connor, mate. You cheating bastard. Yeah, cheating bastard. It says big up as well. And again, I apologize if I do sound ill. I am still recovering from whatever it was. It wasn't COVID, thankfully, but I've just been ill for the last week, and I've been drinking big bottles of water like this for an entire week, to try and get out my system. And hopefully now it is, at the end of it anyway. So videos will be, throughout the week. So we might have one day off or something, somewhere around, in the week. But from now, hopefully, throughout the season as well, be mostly daily uploads as well. Fingers crossed they can keep that promise. Anyway, but let's get into, of course, the news. And that is, of course, James Milner's brand new contract extension. We did bring it to you last night about 12 o'clock, and it was a very late video, so if you guys haven't checked that out, thank you to everyone that did yesterday anyway. But yes, James Milner has signed a brand new deal. It did come out today officially from Liverpool Football Club. Of course, you can see on Twitter right now. Anyway, let me make it a bit full screen for you, because to be fair, I've got it on my like page there. We are delighted to announce that James Milner has signed a new contract extension for the Reds as well. If I quickly go back as well, there was something from Fabrizio Romano as well going on about his wage. As you can see, Fabrizio Romano did mention it down below back in February, but he did add on to it earlier on, saying James Milner has accepted reduced his salary to sign a new contract with Liverpool until June 2023. Jurgen Klopp wanted him to stay. It's a new set to be completed as expected, as reported by, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Paul Joyce, reporting on it last night as well. But it is done. Of course, James Milner's deal was around 130, 140k a week. Now I think it's around 50,000 pound now per week. So it's going to be very, very interesting, the fact that he's taking the pay cut. Could have easily gone on to 2 Premier League clubs, like we reported last night. There was an MLS franchise as well that did want him. Most likely it was into Miami by the looks of it. Of course, Phil Neville, I think, is out there at the minute managing them. But there was also 2 Premier League clubs that he did reject as well, which I think is absolutely brilliant. The fact that James Milner will be back for next season for Liverpool. And guys, let me know your thoughts as well. Let me know, are you happy the fact Millie is around for another year? I am. I think it's brilliant for youth players coming in. You got Fabio Carvalho coming in this summer. James Milner, Jordan Henderson, they'll be the 2 that will greet him in, and greet other people in as well. Slowly, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? But even next season, will he get another deal? Will he get another contract extension? I think that's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there, even next season as well. But James Milner signed his brand new contract anyway. Of course, we can now move forward and look forward to another player as well getting a brand new contract as well. Tell me about it, Connor. I'm still trying to get over whatever this is. Defo no COVID though, John. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, horrible. I think Jack poisoned us or something when we were up Liverpool. Who knows? Absolutely, who knows? Anyway, but guys, let me know if the audio and the video as well is okay. It might be a bit laggy. If it is, then I do apologize for it. But as long as you can hear me, that's mostly important. Jeannie says, "Hi, Doug." He has corrected. Hi, Connor. Not feeling well, but hope you're Millie. I don't know what that is. I might be done with it. I seen he's on 40k, mate. And also as well, Jeannie, if you are unwell, then please do get well soon, my friend. Anyway, I seen he's on 40k, mate. He wasn't offered more money elsewhere. That's good. To be fair, that is very, very good. It's the fact that, you know, I'm interested to see who the two Premier League clubs were. I think one of them was Leeds. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was Leeds. But yeah, just to stay at Liverpool again for another year is fantastic, isn't it? What's this, John? A lot of faces and all good, mate, as well. You're absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Anyway, but you know, we talk about James Milner. We talk about, you know, the importance of, you know, what he brings towards this Liverpool squad. Of course, you know, what is he, 39, you know, going on to 40. He might be 40 now. I should have really known that, but already we'll see on, you know, the preseason videos now, him and the bleed test and everyone getting, you know, back to preseason, and James Milner will be, you know, again there and thereabouts. You know, he's always the fittest Liverpool player at the start of every single season, and it's absolutely fantastic to see for his age as well. You know, he's like a fine wine, isn't he? Or fine Ribena, as we all know and love him anyway. But he did have these words to say as well on Twitter. Saying that I couldn't be happier to extend my stay with this incredible club for another year. Playing football is a privilege, and even more so here. Thanks for the support. Will do my best to repay it as well, which is absolutely fantastic to see as well. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know, you know, are you happy? You know, relieved that Milner's here for another year as well? But you know, let me know, guys, your thoughts in the comment section down below. Chris is in saying, "Evening, mate. I hope you're well." I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, mate. Jeannie says, audio sound. Thank you, Jeannie. Leeds and Villa, I think, Connor. Yeah, them two clubs would be, it would make the most sense, wouldn't it? I would say. I think the two of them, of course, especially, you know, Leeds, you know, go back to where, of course, he started his career and so on. And of course, Villa under Stevie G, you know, again, would be perfect. I think the next contract, whether that be Liverpool or Villa or whatever, I think, and of course, going back to Villa as well, I should say, as well as next club. But for me, the next contract, if he does get one next year, will most likely be a more coaching role than anything, I would say. You know, nothing as yet has been said about that. But I think next season, I think potentially, and as well, it does keep that. I think if James Milner was to leave, Liverpool would have to look for a homegrown talent, because Fabio Carvalho, I think, won't be now because he's Portuguese, but I don't know how it works correctly. But yeah, I think Liverpool would have had to look for another homegrown talent to bring into the team. Obviously, Calvin Ramsey potentially as well. We haven't heard much on that, which is a good sign anyway. Brilliant to see Milner sign for another year. Versatile player and solid, absolutely. Data, hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. Says he's 38. He is not. Is he not, mate? I don't know. I think he's 38, going on 39. But he's practically a 22-year-old James Milner. He hasn't grown up since then. To be fair, I'm not disappointing what Milner's done. Disrespecting what Milner's done. But I wouldn't have let him go as we have had to move. I would have let him go I wouldn't have let him go, as we have to move on, and he's getting on, but he's still happy to staying, and he's an asset around the dressing room and on the pitch. Yeah, absolutely, Chris as well. Do you think Núñez is a club player? We will speak about that in a minute, Jeannie, as well. Yeah, we will speak about Darwin Núñez and what's been spoken about that whole situation as well in a little bit. So I'll answer that question later on in the show. Anyway, but to move on from James Milner a little bit, of course, Paul Joyce did have to mention two more players, and we will speak about them right now. Anyway, and that is, of course, Naby Keita getting a new deal. I know Chris knows, screaming at his screen. Anyway. The minute I could just truly imagine Chris just looking at his phone and like, oh, his laptop or wherever, and going, God's sake, why? But yeah, of course, Naby lads. I know I like to wind Chris up. I know I like Chris to go absolutely mental. Anyway, but we do bring it up on the screen right now. Anyway, he has gone full size. But as you can see on the right hand side there, Liverpool have open talks with Naby Keita over a new contract. He's expected to renew as well, which is fantastic news. Of course, Naby now having 1 year left on his deal, was linked, of course, last week with PSG for some mad reason. I think 50 million was getting talked about. Nobody reliable whatsoever, which was pretty funny, to be fair. I don't think Liverpool get 50 million for Naby. If he was to sell him, I think 20 million, 30 million potentially. That's been talked about Sadio Mane, which we'll talk about in a minute. But for me, 4-year contract's been spoken about. I think Naby, 26, would take him into his 30s. This season has been his best season, under Jurgen Klopp. Hasn't had that many injuries. I think it was that period where he went off against Brighton. I think he was off for about 3 games, I think it was, for Liverpool. Come back, and again, the problem is with Naby, for me, he's brilliant, squad player, but does he get into Liverpool's main midfield? I would say no at the minute. When we have the likes of Jordan Henderson, Thiago, and Fabinho fit and available, I would say personally no, he doesn't get into the team. But when one of them isn't there, we've seen that middle period of the season when he's been fantastic. He's been fantastic, pretty much throughout the season, I would say, in my opinion. I think hopefully, like we've seen this season, and we've seen, with him, Matip, they've been practically, fit for the entirety of the season. If we can get, keep them fit for, next season as well. This season, of course, we've gone on to, try for a quadruple, but, next season as well, hopefully we could potentially, see him break into that 11, maybe for Jordan Henderson. The Man City game this season, both United games. Naby's had very, very good games this season. Man City in the FA Cup, Man United away, then to be in the big ones this season. Of course, we don't mention that Champions League strike that Naby did in the final. We don't mention that whatsoever. But of course, for me, I think it would be good to renew him, because I think it would cost way too much money to replace Naby Keita this season, for me personally. Anyway, but excuse me, guys. I hate it when you have a runny nose, and I do very much apologise if that has icked anyone out. Anyway, but Naby was always was going to get a new deal, just protecting his value, says John. Yeah, I would agree absolutely 100% on that. It's been his best season yet. Yeah, no, I would agree absolutely. It has been his best season in a Liverpool shirt. Anyway, Naby lads should get a year or 2 extension, not more. Yeah, I can see why. I think if you were to say to people now, sell Naby for 40 million or 30 million and get, Jude Bellingham in, I think plenty of people will go, yeah, absolutely, get him gone now. But that's, it's FIFA talk, isn't it? It's not realism. Then I would say, to be fair, I would be happy for Keita to be sold. I hate you now. How dare you say that Naby Keita should be sold? No, I'm kidding. People have their opinions, and Guys, let me know your thoughts. Has Naby been a success at Liverpool? I think because of the price tag that Naby was put on, what was it, like £52 million? I think it was. Let me check Naby's price. To be fair, while I'm talking to you guys, but I think it was around 52 million. We ended up buying Naby from RB Leipzig, and of course, having to wait for him for that entire year as well, it didn't help the situation. Neither did it. But for me, I think he's not been, he's not been Thiago level success where, he's come in, changed the way we play and, this, that and the other. But I think he has come in and brought something to this Liverpool team. I would say anyway that I think he has anyway. Come in, done reasonably okay when he's played. I know injuries is a big factor as well, but again, I think he has done okay, I would say anyway. And it was £54 million we signed Naby Keita for from RB Leipzig. So I know he's been, was he fourth or fifth highest paid player, highest transfer for Liverpool. But I would personally say that Naby has been a success at Liverpool. I know Jamie Carragher had his thoughts and opinions. He was like, I don't think he has been a success. But for me, I would say he's been okay, and I would say it was worth it because we needed a midfielder like him, I would say, to be fair. But, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below anyway. But the one thing I do want to bring up anyway is, of course, the article that last night did come out about, of course, Sadio Mane, about James Milner as well, and it did also speak as well. Let me read Chris's comment out as well. Jesus, never seen Connor smile that wide. Of course, it's Keita. Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. I hate you now, Data. Says Genie as well. John says it's not Naby's fault how much he costs, so he shouldn't be blamed for it. Exactly. I absolutely agree with you on that. Chris agreeing with Carragher. For once, Chris, you're agreeing with Carragher on something. Anyway, what else do we have? Chris going, if we got a good fee for Keita, then I'd arrange an Uber to take him to that club, for God's sake. Anyone for a swap at McTominay for Keita? Oh, lads, what? Data, I'm gonna have to block you now on Twitter. I'm gonna have to now after that comment. What on earth is that? Would you want McTominay for Keita? Jesus Christ, I'd rather get a pile of magic beans than McTominay. Friggin' that anyway. But I do want to share out something as well that was, was also talked about the Naby Keita deal as well. It was also spoken, of course, about one or two things as well, but this was the big one as well for me. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will be allowed to leave Liverpool this summer. If I quickly get up Paul Joyce's article on the Times. Anyway, where is it? There it is. He did go on to say, of course, I've got it. I've weirdly highlighted the part where it's got allowed to leave. But as you can see by here, Liverpool are also in discussions with Keita, who is in a final year of his contract. He's expected to renew, but Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who has 12 months left on his deal, will be allowed to leave this summer. Now, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. Would you, would you let Ox go to start? For me, not wanting to be too harsh on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but for me, I think it was his worst ever season for Liverpool. Yes, injuries, has happened for Ox, but for me, this season that was the worst thing for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was his attitude. That game against Nottingham Forest where he got substituted and he was just having a tantrum in the middle of the pitch, going, "I haven't played well. Why am I coming off?" Not gonna lie, Ox, because you were shite against Nottingham Forest, and I think that's pretty much where Ox has had the first 6 months of his Liverpool career, or the first 7 months, was phenomenal. For me, thought it was absolutely brilliant. Of course, we got that partnership between him and Mo. I think Ox was, I think he was the top assists for Mo's goals in the 17-18 season. But of course, sadly, in the Champions League semi-finals, suffered that knee injury and has just not got his place back in the team. And it's as simple as that. It's unfortunate. It is massively unfortunate. Of course, if we're talking about, of course, we spoke about the Champions League final and so on, but all the way back in Kiev, would he have been able to, make a difference in that game? Yes, he would have done 100%. And I do feel sorry for Ox in a sense. For me, I think he's been that player that has been, up and down, isn't he? Since the injury, hasn't broken into the team. Did well for us while Mo and Sadio was away at AFCON, but I would expect him then to kick on and to go forward and break into that third midfield spot when Jordan Henderson isn't there, and to have the opportunity. But we've gone with the likes of we've gone with the likes of Naby, we've gone with the likes of Curtis Jones, and Harvey Elliott as well. I think has played more since his injury, since Ox, which just goes to show. But again, I just feel something for Ox. I do feel sorry for him, but let me know as well, guys, as well. How much do you reckon Ox will go for this summer? 1 year left on his deal. I think if Liverpool got anywhere of 20 million quid for him, I think that would be a fantastic deal, an absolutely fantastic deal. If we manage to get, I'd say even 15 million for Ox, between 15, 20 million. Of course, that rumor last week or the week before with him and Jarrod Bowen, that the whole swap deal. Swap deals are so uncommon these days, and I know that the likes of Andy Robertson, Kevin Stewart, that type of situation. But I think that's probably the last swap deal I can think of off the top of my head for Liverpool. But again, for me, it will be interesting to see where he goes. I think it will either be West Ham or I do think it'll be Newcastle. I think, personally, guys, I think whoever doesn't get Jesse Lingard this summer might go for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Of course, Jesse Lingard's on a free, going from Manchester United. I'd say very similar paths them to have gone down, I would say, personally. Of course, Ox having better paths, to be fair, than Jesse Lingard. But if you get what I mean, the fact that them two, they'll both be free in that. But well, Ox won't be free, but I think both of them, they're looking to restart their careers. Of course, it'll depend where of course Ox's family wants to go. There's rumors that he want to go to London way as well, so it is depending I think on his family anyway. But let me know, guys, your thoughts on where do you think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will go this summer. Of course, Liverpool won't let him go unless we have a proper deal in place as well, and as well. Let me know where you think he'll end up as well. I could see him at West Ham under David Moyes, and I think he would do a great job at West Ham as well. But let me know, guys, your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Anyway, as I will read your comments right now, and then we'll get talking then about Sadio Mane and, of course, Darwin Núñez as well. We'll be speaking about them two lads as well in a brief moment. And if anyone does want to come on and have you say about it, the link is pinned in the chat. If anyone does want to come on, have a say about Naby, getting a new deal, or Ox leaving, of course. Speak about James Milner's contract situation, and of course what we're going to talk about in a minute. If anyone does want to jump on, have a say. Of course, we'll speak about Sadio Mane and Darwin Núñez in a moment anyway. So guys, if anyone does want to jump on, then please feel free to come on, have your say, and speak your mind. Then I should say anyway. I was meant to message people and I forgot, so bad on me, to be fair. Anyway, but Genie, not Genie, Data says just joking. We all know we're joking anyway. I won't block you. But don't ever say we're going to sign McTominay ever again. Don't ever say it again. No, I'm kidding, to be fair. I'd rather lick broken glass, says Genie. Lol, says Data. Anyway, I can't lose too many players this window, says Mark. Hello. Hopefully you have a fantastic day, my friend. And yeah, I would agree, but I think Klopp doesn't like a big squad, does he? Um, Jurgen, he never, ever, ever. I think this is probably the biggest squad he's ever had. I would say, no matter where he's been, Mainz, Dortmund, or Liverpool, I think this is probably the biggest squad he's ever had to work with. And as we know, he doesn't realistically like, too big a squads. Then I would say anyway. Ox was on fire before his injury. Sadly, he never fully recovered his form. Love the guy, but he has to go, says Data. Yep, no, I would absolutely agree with you on that. Jamie Phillips as well. Hello, Jay. Hopefully on a fantastic day, mate. Says, hi, my friend. How are you? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, mate. Apart from being ill for the last week, apart from that, I'm doing fine. But yeah, great to see you in the chat, mate. And as well, guys, please go over and subscribe if you're not already to Jay as well. If mods as well, please put links in the chat and all that good stuff as well. If you could, be very much appreciated as well. I like Ox, but not being same since that injury and that childish attitude was written on the wall. After that attitude, I wouldn't have ripped. I would have ripped up his contract in front of him. Wouldn't have waited this long. Yeah, I can see what you mean by that, Chris. But I think it's just a player frustrated. Personally, I think it is Ox being frustrated the fact he can't get into the team. But the thing that's annoying for me is the fact he couldn't from AFCON. You'd expect him to kick on. You'd expect him to, go on and fight and be able to compete with the likes of, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Naby Keita. You'd want him to go and do that, and he hasn't. He hasn't shown anything. In a game where we're resting players against Benfica, Ox should be one of the first names to be knocking at that door, and he's not. In pre-season, you guys can go and watch my pre-season content. I thought Ox would be Ox again this season. I generally thought Ox would be Ox this season and have a fantastic season. But, I said that Divock Origi was the most disappointing player pre-season, in my opinion. And for me, it's the other way around now. Obviously, Ox is for me Liverpool's worst player this season. And of course, Divock is legendary status for many reasons, but I think Ox's attitude, again, like we have said, has been poor. And it has been clear to see, in my opinion, anyway. Evening, Connor. Liverpool must sign Núñez. We will speak about that. 10-15 million at least from Chris. Yeah, I feel we need him. Gary. I think that was with Darwin Núñez as well. What else we have? Read that one out. Sorry. 26 million, says Gary. Jesus Christ! Imagine getting 26 million for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It would be a madness, wouldn't it? If we got 26 million for him. 12 million, says Mark. Anyway, I never lost faith in Ox, but this sounds like Jurgen did. 20 million for Ox and 50 million for Mane, no less. Yeah, of course we will speak about Sadio Mane in a brief moment. Of course, let me quickly get the comments back down. Even Ox at Palace. Even Ox at Palace. I can't see Gallagher at Palace permanently. No, that's actually a really good shout, to be fair, Chris. Again, it would depend on what Vieira wants, but yeah, I could see him at Palace. I could definitely see Ox at Palace. So I see him at Palace, says Chris. Hello, Conor Lad. Hello, Doug. Hopefully on a fantastic day, my friend. 25 million for Mane is so stupid. Yeah, no, yeah, it is. It is stupid. Imagine Keita and Ox both heading out of the exit door on crutches. It's a real possibility. Chris, it's not. Please be kind in the chat. Evening, Doug. Doug he as well, says Gary. Every player we look will have a high price, so don't want to lose too many, says Mark. Absolutely. That's the link as well for Jay's channel as well. Please go and subscribe over there if you're not already. Jeannie Divock with a broken heart emoji. I know we have a lot of kids coming up, but mostly not ready yet. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the thing is, Liverpool, we have such a good base at the minute, I would say, in terms of, everything's pretty much there, I would say. For the next generation, I think I looked at the aging squads, and I think Liverpool have the fifth or sixth most aged squad at the minute. So, the next generation is coming through. Of course, Fabio Carvalho, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, Owen Beck, Conor Bradley, Kelleher as well. Obviously, coming through as well. So there's so many people coming up for Liverpool. It's a very, very exciting time as well at the minute for Liverpool Football Club. To be fair, anyway, but. Of course, let's get on then to, of course, the other news. And that is, of course, Sadio Mane. It's probably one of the most annoying stories to bring at the minute. Of course, it's frustrating, the fact that, Sadio looks like he is going to be leaving Liverpool no matter what. Of course, if you watched last night's video, we did bring you the news that Liverpool have rejected a £25 million deal, 21 million with 4 million in add-ons, which would be only activated if Liverpool won, if Bayern Munich won the Champions League or the Premier League, the Bundesliga. I keep thinking of Liverpool. We're not signing Sadio Mane, we're selling Sadio Mane. But yeah, that would be the case anyway. And I will bring, we do have a guest on as well. John is in the back room, or the green room, I should say. Anyway, we'll bring him in a minute. But I want to bring you this news as well. The news is, at the minute, of course, Liverpool did reject that bid. I should say that first of all. But the news at the minute, anyway, from sources, is the fact that Bayern are now ready to up their offer for Sadio Mane to £35 million, including bonuses. The rumour is at the minute it would be £30 million plus 5 million in add-ons, like, of course, if they won the Champions League or the Bundesliga. And according to Sport 1, it's all parties expecting an agreement soon, which again isn't the best. Of course, plenty of people having their thoughts, having their opinions. It should be 35, it should be 40, 50 million. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat down below. Is 35 million too low for Sadio Mane? Let me know in the chat down below as well, because I can guess what John's going to say in a minute anyway. But there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How are we, my friend? I'm good, but you're on mute.
Sorry, apologies. I'm cheating, you fucking cheating bastard.
For God's sake, people will never get that between
No.
But yeah, 35 million for Sadio. Do you think it's, well, do you think it's too little, or do you think it's around the correct price for someone that has 1 year left on his deal?
We'll try and do by the left boot or the right boot.
I think the laces, to be awfully honest with you.
What are those smoking?
I don't know. I generally don't know.
35 million for fucking Mane is ridiculous. I should be at least 50 million.
Yeah, I can see people, people going 100 million. Liverpool will never get 100 million.
You're not getting 100 million.
We're not Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid and PSG, but here we're actual speaking logic here. We're not speaking shit. To be fair, anyway. But let me bring the chat as well. Something else as well that's come up. Let me make a big screen for you guys as well. But the other thing as well is Bayern will continue talks with Liverpool. For Sadio Mane in the coming days in the hope of reaching an agreement. Liverpool are reluctant to sell unless they receive a substantial offer. Klopp would ideally also want a replacement lined up first as well, and that's coming from Fabrizio Romano. I believe he did say this on the Here We Go podcast as well. But John, of course, that was mentioned there about a replacement. We will speak about Darwin Núñez in a brief moment, but first of all, how much would be acceptable, would you, if Bayern come in with £40 million and 5 million in add-ons, and would that be enough for you, or do you think that it should be around 50 million? And who would you want to replace Sadio if Sadio was to leave the club? Is it Darwin Núñez, Christopher Nkunku? Let me know your thoughts.
I would accept 40 million up front, 45 up front, 5 million add-ons. I think it has to be the 50 million mark. It has to be. I wouldn't mind Lewandowski.
There's no way that's happening.
I wouldn't mind that.
We had this conversation in Liverpool. We should have done a video on it while we were up there. I think because we were having a whole debate when it was about Lewandowski, Harry Kane, Son, Núñez, Christopher Nkunku. Just everyone was on the table, wasn't it? And yeah, Lewandowski was a big topic that we was talking about. I can just see him going to Barcelona. I think that's the only place he does go.
I think it's a done deal pretty much, isn't it? But can you where Barca get the money from?
Spotify have given him like £1 billion.
That doesn't come into effect until the end of this coming season.
Oh, is it?
That's when they get the money. The end of this coming season. So they're actually struggling to even sign Gavi the new deal.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So throw we cheeky bid in for Gavi?
I don't think we can bid, can we? I think it's only his release clause is there. I think at the minute.
Well, how much is that?
50 million.
I paid all day long. I paid all.
I think.
But Núñez, I think Núñez is going to be a brilliant sign. We get him. I love Núñez.
I think so, guys. Anyway, let us know in the chat. Do Liverpool have to be in direct contact with Barcelona for Gavi, or do we have to go through La Liga? I think you have to go through La Liga before Barcelona. First thing they'll know is when Gavi's on the plane to Merseyside. That'd be funny if that did happen. To be fair. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts anyway in the chat as well. And do you think Sadio Mane will leave, first of all? Because I think that's the big thing. Unless Liverpool have the replacement lined up.
You can't just keep them and let them go free.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He's probably worth more money just to keep.
Potentially. Would be interesting. Bayern have to pay up, says Gary. Bayern Munich being clever, in my opinion, offering only that for Mane because we did that with Thiago. Yeah, we have that good relationship with them, don't they? To be fair, still too low, says Mark. Chris says no, should be 100 million at least. No, that's not going to happen. Lol, add another 100 million. I know we won't get 100 million, but he's worth that. Yeah. It's another Suarez situation, isn't it? It's supposedly, according to the rumours anyway, and the whispers, Mane's wanted to leave since around February. So
it all hooked on. Can that maybe convince him to sign a deal?
That's the hope. That's the genuine hope. I thought if he doesn't go, I think Liverpool might try and convince him. You know, you got another year.
Just stick him in a room of club, have a couple of beers. Man, let's work this out.
You can't leave the room until you sign the new deal. You're not allowed to leave, Sadio. Like, get in that room. £50 plus for me, says Mark. To be fair, Klopp will tweak the system for the 9. Yeah, and of course, if he does get Darwin Núñez, would love to see what he does with that. Millions, lol, or 50 million plus me, says Mark. Anyway, 50 million plus Lewandowski. Jesus Christ. That's John pleading. At least 50 million, or we keep him, says Jeannie. Chris says 50 million plus Sane. Wouldn't mind Sane if it was the Man City Sane. Would love to piss City off. Sane is not happening whatsoever.
I don't really.
I think he's too injury prone now. To be fair, I think that's why he went to Bundesliga. I think he's had it now. To be fair, Núñez 60 million gets him. Hopefully, I think Benfica are currently wanting 80 million euros, which is around 67 million. I think it is at the minute. So not far off of it. Jack's in as well, saying my head's gone roll off. Gonna roll off. Be asked with more months of all this transfer shite. Hey, look, it's content. I got nothing else to talk about. So it's not. It's like the World Cup would have started on Friday if it was played in the summer. Like, just think about that. The World Cup would be played on Friday if, of course, it wasn't played in Qatar. And played in, when is it? November, is it now?
November starts,
which is shite. So we could talk about the World Cup, but we don't. We have transfers to talk about. So, Jack, instead of complaining, get your arse in, you little shit. You cheating bastard. Ask 100 million for Marnie and now be buy one get one free. For God's sake, data. Lewandowski, they're not a friggin' meal. Like, could you get one, buy one, get one free? Jesus Christ. Lewandowski can do it in the Prem now. I don't think he can. If he was to come to the Premier League, it would be interesting. Lolchak as well says Mark. Get this new season underway. I'd agree with you, but sadly it doesn't start for another month. Yeah, cheating bastard, John says.
You cheating bastard.
Yeah, Doug as well. I think it's through La Liga now after they changed wage cap years ago. There you go. Gavi isn't happening. No, it isn't. But look, we could hope. Hello, Jack Law as well says Doug. This is what holding up Liverpool getting. This is what's holding up Liverpool getting the striker. Again, nothing's going to happen, guys, until Sadio Mane leaves Liverpool, because Liverpool could easily go out, buy, Nkunku could go out for Darwin Núñez. But then if Sadio Mane, doesn't go to Bayern Munich, you have that whole year then where you're trying to fit a new signing into, trying to change things while you have Sadio Mane here. I hope Mane stays. I hope Sadio Mane stays. But everything coming out of Sadio's camp is he wants to go, he wants to try something new at Bayern Munich, which, is fair enough. He's been at Liverpool since, 2016. He's done everything, he's won everything. If he wants to go and challenge himself elsewhere, then, fair enough on him.
Is Sadio actually said anything himself about this? I don't think Sadio's actually said anything personally.
I think as far as what Sadio said, he said that we'll hold the conversation about what happens next season in the next couple of days. So
that just mean anything. That could mean, are you going to offer me a better deal, or read into what you want?
Well, apparently Bayern and Mane have agreed personal terms. I think Fabrizio Romano said something that I think nearly 400k a week be mentioned, which is hilarious. John, you're cheating bastard. I'm not replying what's on that. How long are these contract extensions going on for? James Milner's a year. Naby, anything between 2 and 4 years has been mentioned. As far as the reports, nothing's concrete has been added. And then Sadio, Mo's apparently 2 years, according to James Pierce. That's been mentioned. I think a 15% increase as well on his current contract, which is like 230k a week, which that's not going to get him. Not going to get anywhere with Mo Salah with 230k, are you? And yeah, apparently Mo wanted 4, and then they worked. I think probably, I think 2. I think then was added to it. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be in the range of like 1 to 4 years then for practically everyone. F England as well. F the Tories as well. 16th of June, new fixtures are out, says Doug. Yeah, I think 9 a.m. on the 16th. So of course, video on that will be coming soon. They got Southgate, so they are F as well. Should do an out and hour things. Probably, the watersheds in like 15 minutes. So we're sound for that anyway. What did for God's sake, I hate you so much. Wow, Buck as well says the After Hours Cop Council podcast. It could be a thing in the future. Who knows? Doug Mane never said he wants to leave. Plus, he didn't have talks with Bayern Munich. Apparently, Genie. I'm just saying what Fabrizio Romano said. Personal terms are agreed, supposedly. And Sky and Jim.
He's a brick bottle. He's a tablet merchant.
Everyone says this.
He's not.
Everyone mentions this. I think Fabrizio. I think he doesn't. He's not good with Liverpool news. I would say that he's good with Italian news and Spanish news, and that's about it. I would say it's like first thing to it, like constantly. Hang on a minute, Makendo. The link is in the chat, so if you want to join, join. Don't bitch and moan about it, you cheating bastard. Just get in, yeah. What's wrong with you? We should do a out of hours podcast where we could just do it. That would be, if we get YouTube membership, if we get to 1,000 subscribers and then we do YouTube membership, we'll do shows. I think we could do private shows on there. I think we'll do like a thing on that when we get to 1,000. So if you want to hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. Jeannie Marley did say he wants to leave, says Data as well. Fake News says Jack as well. Need educated people, Jack at LOL as well. Prove It says Jeannie. What else do we have? Mark as well. Anyway, but yeah. God's sake, I hate all of you. But to be fair, for me, guys, I think, look, if they was to improve it to 40 million euros, I think that then would be it then. I think it would be it for Sadio Mane. I think Liverpool would agree with it. I don't think Liverpool will hold up Sadio Mane that much, I would say, personally. But, who knows? It'll be, again, it's different thoughts and opinions. And Doug, seeing your joke on Switzerland, lads, no. I've seen it earlier. I know this is a no for me anyway. But, of course, we'll speak with Darwin Núñez as well now as well. And, guys, stop arguing in the chat as well. Don't argue, please. Otherwise, I'll kick you out. Who told you? Goldbridge says. To be fair, why would Goldbridge tell you? Cheating, to be fair. Anyway, but we'll talk about Darwin Núñez. Of course, Paul Joyce did mention last night. Of course, we talked about it last night. That he has mentioned that Liverpool are interested in Darwin Núñez, which is fantastic. But John, could you see Liverpool going after him? Because I know plenty of people have mentioned his passing game and his possession-based style isn't what Liverpool would normally go for in that. But do you think Liverpool should go after Darwin Núñez for if it is 60 million quid that has been talked about? You're on mute again. You've done him again, though.
I think he's just clapped in a T. He's definitely a clap player. So his club make him the gem. So what? 16 million, is that a bit much?
I think he's got 3 years left on his deal. I think his release clause is £130 million. So
you're not paying that, are you?
No, absolutely not. No.
So I'll go after him all day long. I think he's brilliant, but you need to team the system, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think if we was to sign Darwin Núñez, I think that's the thing. I think plenty of people on social media has gone on about it as well. The fact that Liverpool would have to change the system up. I think if we was to sign him as well, I think we've got to sign him around now so we can get him in a full pre-season, not like where it was like Thiago and Jota, where we waited quite a lot for him. I think you have to get them in now. Get him used to Thiago. Get him used to Diaz and Salah, and if Mane was to leave, and so on. But for me, I would think get him in now to get him in that pre-season. Get him under Klopp. Get him to know everyone, know the system, and then just go straight forward then. Because I think if he was to sign for Liverpool, I think he would start the season.
I think starts all day long. Would you go to a 4-2-3-1?
I think there's the potential there. If you were to say to me which would you start with the season with, I think it's still 4-3-3. I don't think he would switch it just for the sake of it. Like if Liverpool are going to start the season with a 4-2-3-1. I think games like we've seen against Wolves earlier on in the season, and the last game of the season as well, when we went to a 4-2-3-1. I think those are the type of situations where but I don't think it'll be the main formation. And I know everyone will want it to be. I think plenty of people have wanted 4-2-3-1 to be our main formation for a while. Anyway. We are joined by another guest. I can see him grinning. We'll bring him in a minute. You can wait in the naughty corner a minute, lad. What's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know, but it's the flag. Hey, do you want to win, even more?
Sorry, I was just winding up. Fan chat off as well. How we doing, boys? And chat, everyone. I was just on my tea, and then I was just getting pelters in the chat, so I was like, I've got to come on and defend myself. I'll be my own barrister as well.
Oh, for God's sake. But yeah, Jack, Darwin Núñez, would you want him at Liverpool?
Yeah, mate, and just people out there that are dismissing the lad's quality as well, which is quite frightening, really. The main priority for a forward is to score goals, like it has been in modern day football and football for the last 100 years. But yeah, I'm open. He does come, mate. But you look around Europe, chat as well, and John, we spoke when he's come down. There's not a lot of options apart from obviously Mbappe and Haaland. Haaland's gone to City. Mbappe will eventually go to Real Madrid, even though he's at PSG now. But there's not really a lot of world-class forwards out there, would you say? Apart from obviously Lewan, Suarez, they're getting on in the latter stages of their career now. But just you're looking at in and around Europe, and it's a bit meh, if you ask me.
I think obviously we had the debate, didn't we, while we were all in Liverpool, and it was like the names that we brought out was like Lewandowski. It was like the obvious ones: Kane, Lewandowski, Núñez, and then we were even going like Ollie Watkins and all these other ones. And it's like you look at you do look at everyone, and you're like, City have taken just the one guy that was on the market for pretty much for the year. And I know people have said that plenty of clubs were interested in Erling Haaland, but we all said it last year. If they didn't sign Harry Kane last year, they were going to go for Erling Haaland this year, and they went out and got him. And he is, he's going to take City to another level. I don't think he'll do it straight away. Personally, I think he will take a little while, but that little while will be a couple of months. It won't be a whole season, I don't think, anyway. But it's the fact that would anyone go after Christopher Nkunku? I know he got 48 goal involvements. McKenna's on a mute.
Sorry, it's the first time I've been quiet all day. Yeah, no, it's you look at it, boys, in chat. It's the obvious names in it, and the way Liverpool have run themselves over the last couple of years under Klopp, it's always been that unknown quantity that really would come into the club. I know, obviously, Jota was getting goals for Wolves, but if you'd asked any of us, I don't think any of us would have went, yeah, Jota, we want him, and we see him being a Liverpool type player. Fabinho, for an example, as well. I think it will be a case of if Liverpool can offload Mane, get 35, at least 40 million from Bayern Munich, we will need to replace his goals, 100%. Especially it was that one big player in Liverpool's team that would step up to the occasion. It nearly was him that scored against Real Madrid. He had our best opportunity of the game. And I said it would be Liverpool's standout player in that game. And if it wasn't Courtois or Man would have obviously got man of the match if he got a couple of goals. But yeah, it's the obvious names in it, making Nkunku, Harry Kane, Núñez. But I think it will be a case of a name that probably will come left field in reality. And I think it's Liverpool's strategy, and probably will have a little inquiry of Nkunku, because you tell me, all of us know that Jurgen Klopp will be a big admirer of the Bundesliga. He signed quite a lot of players from there, so he probably would have inquired Liverpool, Christopher Nkunku, given the negotiations between Ibrahim Konate as well. We brought him from RB Leipzig, so we've got a good relationship, if you want to class it as that. Probably when we signed Konate, we probably said, when's that lad available on the market? And when he does become available, I think, yeah. And the big one is James Milner. I think chat as well was a big indication that he's staying for another year. And if you want to dot the I's, cross the T's or whatnot, makes sense. Next year, Liverpool go all out for Jude Bellingham, especially if we are losing a spot in Liverpool's midfield for an English player. It's just like for like, really, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you on that 100%. Gary says, sign Núñez, Liverpool missed out on strikers over the last 10 years. When you look at it, obviously most recently, Timo Werner, if we class him as a striker, obviously we dodged a bullet with it, to be fair. But I think that the last number 9 Liverpool had,
that didn't work out, was probably, I was going to say, last player. Because it's quite rare that Liverpool, all of us have watched Liverpool in every generation, really, and we're very fortunate. A lot of our strikers are legends of the Liverpool Football Club. Obviously, Kenny, Rushy, obviously Torres, he did go to Chelsea, we got 50 million, and at that time, he was one of the world's best strikers. Suarez was a phenom, it was ridiculous. I don't think we'll see until a very long time until we see a player that quality. But as he says, the last player that was number 9 that didn't work out was, to a certain extent, was 2 of them, Danny Ings and Benteke. I don't think we've quite replaced. Would you say, John, Suarez?
Can you replace Suarez? But
it's impossible to replace him.
Unless Ricky Lambert, boys. Ricky Lambert.
He was banging in free kicks for Southampton. Then he comes to us and then can't even get off the subs bench.
No, you're right. I was happy for Rick Lambert, but he's a red himself, so I was happy he's saying first. But fuck me, it was shit.
We ended up having the attack of what was it, Sturridge? Well, Sturridge wasn't even there. I think it was Balotelli. Yeah. Balotelli, Jesus Christ.
Imagine if we had all of our channels back then. Christ almighty.
Oh my God.
Everyone on Liverpool YouTube as well. It's only been Redman and the Anfield Wrap that were going until that long.
Lads, it would be carnage. Let's just say that.
Twitter Spaces with Fabio Guarino, friends. Christ almighty.
Oh, Jesus Christ. A lot of players are getting on, and fresh talent costs an arm and a leg, especially Liverpool come knocking as well. Harvey's being turned into an attacking midfielder, says Mark. Yeah, attacking number 8. Liverpool must stop shoehorning wingers in the 9 position.
I agree with that.
So it's how we've worked over the last the last few years. Remember Bobby Firmino at one time was playing left wing for Brendan Rodgers, and now obviously turned into probably the best false 9 out there, you would say, or the first player to do it in the last couple of years. I hope Nkunku ends up at United. He isn't all that, says Genie. Nkunku would be more shoehorn as well, says Gary, and Perini with the slam face emoji as well. That would be anyway. But going back on the stories then, boys, because we've mentioned James Milner. Overall reaction from you two. I'll go start with John first. Your thoughts on James Milner and him getting his new deal?
All right, man. You need players like him in the dressing room, especially around the young kids. What an example to show a young kid coming up. If you want to continue on playing until you're in your late 30s, do what I've done. Look after yourself, eat right, train properly every single day. You shouldn't let him go. I think he's saying this one. I think next season he'll back into the coaching role.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that.
Jack, especially on rumored 40k a week, that's a massive pay cut.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's John's at the nail on the head. Yeah, John's at the nail on the head there, Con and chat. And the fact that he's took a pay cut says a lot about the lads. Oh, the man. In reality, a shame that some of our players, certain Liverpool players within our squad, we all know them are at the minute, that just get their head down, focus on the playing career, and even if they are leaving come at the end of 12 months' time, then they go, but they don't whinge, and it's the ultimate professional, as John said there, Con. We all know how good Jimmy Milner is. A lot of our players currently that can take a leaf out of his book anyway. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what next 12 months do hold for them, mate. As I said, another 12 months of James Milner. We need that, especially if they are going into a transitional period over the next 12 months, especially if we are losing, say, the likes of Salah next season or whatever happens. it would be catastrophic, really, if Liverpool were to lose Salah and Mane, not in the same window, but in the space of, 12 months, 18 months' time. There will be always players out there to replace them, but you need characters in your changing room as well. And especially if it does get a bit sour, I'm pretty sure James Milner and Henderson will be the first players to tell those lads, jog on, mate, get in the stands, play with the under-18s. None of this nonsense in the changing room, really.
Especially if you're like, say, Cavallo coming in that dressing room, and you walk in, you've James Milner to put the arm around you. You can't beat that experience.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Well, sticking on contracts, and obviously we spoke about as well earlier on about Naby getting his new deal, and Ox, well, practically, on the chopping block then, realistically said he can leave this summer as well. Obviously, Chris mentioned Crystal Palace for Ox. Is there anywhere else you two think that he might end up that's surprising? I said probably Newcastle or West Ham as an obvious one. Do you think could there be anywhere else for him?
I think go to Villa with Stevie G.
Could be potential. Makendo, what about you?
Yeah, potentially. I'd be happy with. It'd be good to see Naby get a contract, mate. Even if it is a 12-month, what you don't want is be madness if we did lose Naby, Salah, and Mane all on frees.
Oh,
from a business sense, you're losing quite a lot of your assets here. Probably your most important assets of your club as well. Because you look at Naby, yes, he's had his injuries, but he's still 25, 26, is he?
He's still quite young.
26.
Was he younger than that? Is he 26? Yeah. So even still, if you were to lose him in 12 months' time, then I tell you what, loads of teams, even Barcelona, Real Madrid, wouldn't surprise me as well. There's still a player in there, and he's got a lot of unfinished business at Liverpool. And I think it's the one thing that all of us look at, and even in that Champions League, I know he didn't do much when he come on, but I was saying to you on that night, I was like, why is not Naby not coming on? He should have come on at least 20 minutes earlier. It was so blatantly obvious.
He should have started the game.
Yeah. And that was that one game where, yes, if you do start Naby, and we spoke about this in the build-up, if we do start him and it does go catastrophically wrong, then you can bring him off. But it's what ifs, really. But yeah, if we could sign Naby to a 2-year extension, it suits all parties, really. There's potentially any value sell on as well. They can get a bit more money out of him, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the £50 million PSG rumour, I think that was just completely false. Whoever put that out anyway. Liverpool need Núñez, as Gary anyway. Millie will be a great for young players. Absolutely agree with you on that. Agree, Gary, but no way these are paying 60 million for him, in my opinion. I think that's concerning Núñez. I wouldn't be surprised at the minute. 80 million euros, like I did say, was mentioned. And Luis Diaz was that at the start of January.
I was going to say, Con, yeah. I mean, you've been talking, and Liverpool were quoted heavily with Diaz, and then we let Tottenham do the legwork. I was speaking to Dave early on today, mates, with Dan, and yeah, I think it's just a brinkmanship deal. If Liverpool are to get Núñez, he'd want to come to a Champions League club, even if United weren't in for him. And he wants to play under Jurgen Klopp, and he's played against Liverpool. He knows what the fans are like, knows what the team's like as well. He would have been taken aback by how good we were when we played against him.
You saw him.
Hard. Yeah.
You saw him, and after the game, I was speaking to you, wasn't it? And you were like, we need to sign him because he's just like, he's one of these guys you just watched, and he's been absolutely brilliant. Did he score 3 offside goals?
Yeah, 3-4. I lost count. So I didn't even watch the replays. But I was coming out of the ground. That was the first thing I said to you, mate. When I was like, we need to sign this lad, because I tell you what, if we come away the next 2 years of him going to a United or a Chelsea or someone in the Premier League, and you're like, what are we doing? We've done it already with Haaland all those years ago when we played Salzburg. And then we ended up getting Taki Minamino, didn't we? But not Haaland. Before he moved to Dortmund. But I think now, Núñez, 22 years old, 23 this year or whatnot next year, we can't miss up on this opportunity. And even 60 million, the outlay is quite a lot at the beginning. But if you space that over, like what, a 10-year stint at the club or 12 years, it's pennies really in reality.
Well, Genie just said, but again, I bet they are still thinking about the 75 instead of only for BBD as well. To be fair, Virgil did come out and give his top five players to come up against in Europe, and Darwin Núñez was in that list. So.
Yeah, because he absolutely minced our defence that night.
Yeah, he did turn our defence inside out. To be fair, Canate and Diaz is near 100 million, says Gary. I think it's around 70, 80
100 million well spent though. They're very young as well, those two players, aren't they? Looking at Canate, 22, 23 years old.
I can't wait to see what Diaz does next season. Like, he's going to be so good under a full preseason. Naby 28 in November or something. Newcastle would be good as well. I think that was with Ox's question as well anyway. But before we do head off then, because it has been an hour and 5 minutes and I won't leave you lads any longer. But before we do head off, we've mentioned what, and I've asked John this one, and I'll ask John again. If Sadio Mane was to leave, who would you bring in?
Messi.
John, that is to you.
What's that guy's name? Plays for Munich himself.
Lewandowski.
No, beginning with a G.
Gnabry.
I'd bring him in.
Is he free transfer then, or is he leaving?
He's rejected a £250,000 per week contract at Bayern.
Oh, we can barely overpay over 10 quid now.
The meter's broken.
No wonder Sal's getting off, lads.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't know who would yours be?
I'd go Núñez and go midfielder Barella as well. I know we're not going to get at, but we move.
I bring Núñez in top of Gnabry.
What was that like out there? Who's there?
John, who did you mention?
Núñez and Gnabry. I'd bring them two in.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it, to see what would happen if obviously I don't think Salah goes this summer. I think he's already said he's not going anywhere. But it would be interesting to see what would happen anyway. Because even we know we're fully I was going to say fully season then, in funny season, when, Joe Linton got mentioned last week as well.
Oh, my God. I was whacking my head against the wall when I seen that one on Twitter. I was like, anyone, that's the thing with Twitter, everyone, you all know, if you go on there for 5 minutes, your head rolls off. Anyone can start up a Twitter account, and the amount of absolute nonsense that does, like, I'm supposed people make their day and week of making these Jag accounts, and then they take a look, they try and run it as like a story, and then and like a website picks up on the tweet, and these aren't accredited journals anyway. They've been to the business school of YouTube, and then they've got the qualifications off YouTube. So yeah,
I'd always say the number one people to look out for: James Pearce, Paul Joyce, Melissa Reddy. Again, all of them. I'd say if you're looking for Liverpool news, them three particularly are the top. I would say, especially Paul Joyce. Paul Joyce is the man for Liverpool.
He's the godfather of all Liverpool Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
do you think Bowen?
Yes, but I don't think we'd get him cheap. We're looking at, I know a couple of my West Ham mates, it'd be like easy echelons
60.
really of 60, 70 odd million. I think probably even more given West Ham's owners and given out the importance. You got to look at it, haven't we, boys, as well. If you're signing a player from another club, how important are they to them in terms of their plan? He is Mr. West Ham at the minute. Him and Declan Rice are the poster boys, not just for West Ham but for England as well. And it's how much. And West Ham are an absolute bloody nightmare to do business.
Well, yeah, you look at it. I think Declan Rice has already been mentioned, like 120 million. If anyone wants to come in for him, like he's not worth that whatsoever.
The only team that will pay that, as well as I said, is Chelsea or Man United. I know the West Ham fans don't want Rice to go to United. They'd rather go him to like a Liverpool or City or even Chelsea, somewhere where he's guaranteed to win trophies, because he'll just be wasted at Man United.
I think Chelsea paying that kind of money these days.
I think, well, they're going after Ousmane Dembele, aren't they? I think that's going to be agreed next week, I think.
But he's done.
Yeah, he'll get injured during the first week of training, isn't he?
A bit for a season.
But if he can't cope with La Liga football, he can't cope with Premier League football.
Oh, mate, he's going to be getting volleyed left, right and centre by the Premier League defenders, isn't he?
But you can say about Haaland. Haaland's injury prone. Could he keep up Can he keep up with the Premier League?
I'd say yeah, due to the phys. He's such a big lad, isn't he? He's like 6'5", 6'6", but he's built like a brick shit house in reality.
I think as well. He's come from the same background. There was Mane and Keita and Avani through that, through Salzburg and the RB project and that. So you think he'd be able to do it, but I can see. Well, obviously, I think pretty much all like the Watsons was, will he do another Ibrahimovic under Guardiola? Which could he do that? Someone store it.
Was that the dog there, John?
I thought John's camera had froze and John fell asleep.
No, that's my pug.
Oh,
yeah, that was one of his farts from last week. Again.
Still lurking. To be fair, anyway. But guys, we are going to leave it there anyway for tonight. Anyway, thank you to everyone that has tuned in to the show. Anyway, and there is nothing to talk about at the minute apart from transfers and all the whispers and rumours as well. Of course, we'll be doing it every single day. We'll have different shows and that as well. But of course, James Milner's new contract and all those other things. Well, Andrew's as well saying, "Hi guys, thoughts on Naby's contract extension?" Andrew, just go back. We spoke about it a little bit ago. As well, just go back a little bit. To be fair, Ravi saying, "Yo, big up" as well. And Jeannie saying hi to Ravi as well. Anyway, but big thank you as well to John and to Jack as well for coming on as well. Jack, got anything interesting, or you're just not going to do anything now until July?
I might just go live and then just have it filming on my green screen, because that's probably more entertaining than watching me chat about fucking transfers. Even though all my best videos on my channel are transfer videos, but that was when I couldn't give a toss really. But when you do it year after year after year after year after year after year, yes, it gets the views, but it's like banging the head against a brick wall, really.
Was it me and you talking about Fekir? And like Fekir was the number one guy for the views.
Oh yeah, no, Fekir and Thomas Lamar. And yeah,
hi Brenda.
on his channel, not mine. But yeah,
don't worry. Like, just get her a seat.
That looks funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's easier now.
All right, Steeler. I might be going live a bit later.
Bastard.
So if you're free, I'll try and get you on. I need someone to talk to, because I can't be. Obviously, I love chatting that, but chat, if you want to jump on the video later, I'll try and get you on. We can talk about things, Mill. Try and get out for those. So it'd be good. Thank you for having me on, lad. It's great to speak to John and you, lad, and everyone in chat.
No problem. And guys, of course, head over to Jack's channel. I'll leave the link on Twitter when we are live and all that good stuff anyway. But hopefully we'll be, actually, there's a video coming up tomorrow about Nike and the new kit, the home kit. Of course, do it every single year. The video is tomorrow now, so all good.
Did you get your kits given out for FreeCon this year?
No, absolutely not.
I'm showing you Liverpool have a word. You need to have an award with someone running Liverpool, mate.
No, I
Everyone
just have to
else
wait up
gets
the
their
BBC
kids
again.
given to them free. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, so if you know the story, you know anyway. But unless you are a content creator that has over 100,000 followers on Twitter or wherever, and I don't know you exist. So
Yeah.
I can't. But yeah, guys, we will be back tomorrow with the kit video. That's already pre-recorded, edited, and done. So that'll be out tomorrow about 3, I think, tomorrow. Anyway, so get a notification bell on that anyway. But like I did say, I'll post out, when we are on, because I keep forgetting the community page as well. So I'll post out when, Jack is live as well on there as well. Anyway, but we will be back on what day we're on. Monday, back on Wednesday now with a live show. Anyway, so hopefully see all of you lovely people then. But until next time, guys, that's gonna be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. See you then. Ta-ra.